Welcome to the Money for Nothing podcast. I am Rob Castaneris. This is part one in a series that I'm going to do about divorce. This is a personal subject for me, but I think it's an important one and one that's on a podcast about personal finance because it's no secret that divorce can put someone's financial lives and financial futures into real jeopardy. But it's a subject that I feel strongly about. I've got a lot to say about it. It's been about 8 years since I've been divorced, and I've had some time to think about the extent to which people ending up in financial ruin could have avoided this with a little bit of forethought. And so I have put together a list of 4 things that I think people can do that's simple, easy to follow, repeatable, that can serve as that forethought to help avoid people ending up worse than they need to be. And so through my work, I've unfortunately seen more than a few divorces from start to finish. I've gotten a look at a number of them up close, and it's just reality that it brings out the worst in us, divorce does, and it compromises our thinking when we need it the most. And so if someone's in the middle of a divorce or at the beginning stages of one or considering one, this really is subject matter material that not only is personal to me, but it's material that I feel strongly about in terms of being able to help ourselves in a way to prevent more damage than what's necessary. So, like I said, this is part one, and we're going to dive in. And today's focus is on the first part of the playbook, and it's for people who are at the beginning stages of divorce, whether they're considering one or right at the beginning of one. So let's dive in. The first step that I think somebody ought to take if they are going down the road of divorce is to define what they are really looking to accomplish. The beginning of a divorce can be very different for different people, depending on the obvious wide array of circumstances that have led to the divorce in the first place. Somebody could be looking for revenge or some vindication from the courts or from somebody that they weren't crazy and that they were right all along. Somebody could be looking for speed to get this done as quickly as possible, so that they can start their new life. Another motivation could be to preserve the relationship they have with their kids. Right. Another one could be, I am out for financial gain, or I'm out for financial preservation. I want to get through this, losing as little money as possible. Where I'm going with this is that depending on what you are really after, that is going to determine the road you're about to go down. And hopefully you can see just by those 6 or 7 very, very different motivations that what you need to do is really look in the mirror and figure out which one is driving you. Because I don't think that is a step that occurs to a lot of people to take, because I think just the general presumption is that, yeah, I do want to get through this quickly because, like, it's not fun for anybody. But no one's going to tell you to figure out what it's such a personal thing to figure out what you're really after, because a dangerous word here is should. Somebody should feel this way or should be after this or should be after that. And that's rarely what is actually driving people. And so I think the first step is one that should be taken alone, and it should be the looking in the mirror and figuring out what you are what you're really looking to accomplish, even if it's ugly. Um, you figure it out, and you commit to it, and you set your course of action based on what you come up with. The second step is to confer, and it's kind of an odd word to use here, and this is really another way of saying you're going to build a team, and the obvious players here are going to be you're almost certainly going to have a divorce attorney, but for me that's sort of just the start. So you are going to obviously want an attorney to represent you. You're going to want a money guy. And I say it like that because it might not necessarily be a financial advisor. Maybe it's somebody who's in your life, who's just really good with money and that you really trust. Either one will do. But what you do need is somebody other than yourself to take a good, hard look at your finances, and someone that you can talk to about what your balance sheet actually is, everything down. It's not just your income and your assets. There is debt. There is, depending on how long you've been married, there are assets that maybe have been gifted to you or that you acquired a long time ago. It could be property that one of you have bought 10 or 15 years ago. That's easy to forget about. But a real full inventory of income, assets, liabilities, doing it the old-fashioned way, would be with a financial advisor or someone very close to you that you can trust. You better take a really good hard look at your finances because they are about to go through the ringer. So there's the attorney. There is a money guy, and for me personally, I think this one was as important as the other two, maybe more so. And at the beginning, certainly, this was the most important, but you got to figure out who your friends are and the ones who know you the best, because divorce is something that requires some rational thinking at a time when you are least equipped to be able to do so. So if you have friends, if you have one friend who really knows you well and knows how you think and knows what you are like when you are at the top of your game, who can really tell the difference when you are not, that is going to be a very useful person, because you're going to need them, whether it be for emotional support or just to be able to blow off some steam, to bounce things off of. And if you have access to such a person, that person is going to be invaluable. Right? So yeah, step 2 is to confer. And so you can see that we are building a roster of people that are going to be in your corner. Some of them obvious, some of them not so obvious. Step 3 really involves some more people, but this is the step that I call preserve. Your mental health and your physical health are going to get tested, pushed to the brink from day one of your divorce. And you're going to have every reason to throw in the towel or to get lax with any routine that you might have in looking after yourself, which is, I think, is sort of the key behavior here that I'm trying to touch on here. If you are not looking after yourself in a way that at a minimum, the way that you used to, I would argue this is a time where you need to look after yourself better than you ever have before, because if your physical health is bad or your mental health is bad, what is absolutely inevitable are going to be mistakes. Because for me, the worst thinking and the worst behavior and the worst emotional control came when either regular health was bad because I wasn't exercising much or I wasn't sleeping a lot, and like these things are common, and we have got some control over that, and it's going to be real hard to have the wherewithal to really look after yourself at a time when you really don't want to, because it's, I mean, let's face it, this is the time when whatever self-destructive impulse you've got in you, like this is when it this is when it comes out, and this is when you're most likely to give yourself a pass to do these things, and it's absolutely the time where you can afford to do it the least. So a usual suspect on this list is going to be a good therapist, right? Whether you have one or whether you're somebody who used to see one, I think having one is about as imperative as everybody else that's on the list so far. Another component of this step of preserving your health in every way that you can possible is to find something that gives you joy. So whatever activities that you used to do, whether it be right before your divorce or at the beginning of your marriage or at the right after college or in high school, so whether it be pick up basketball or spending more time on the golf course, like whatever you can do that is going to give you some joy, you better go find it and make some time for it to happen, because we can talk about mental health all we want, but if there is nothing that is going to make you feel good, you just really can't will yourself to make that happen. So this is a effective way to give yourself some joy, and maybe the easiest way possible, because for some people it's just playing a sport, or maybe it's a musical instrument, or maybe it's going to listen to some music or some art, or whatever the case may be. Go do it. Make the time to do it, because if you don't, we're going to go right back into that category of bad things are happening to me because I'm just not in good shape and not in a good way. So far we're at step one, define. We are going to look in the mirror and figure out what we're really after here. Step two is to confer. So this is where putting a team around us of a good lawyer. One word on this is you want to choose this person carefully. You're going to be spending a lot of time with them, and even somebody who's a friend or somebody you've known for a long time is going to test you, because a good divorce attorney is going to want to get you to the finish line, and is not going to necessarily be interested in the same thing that you are, right? If revenge or infliction of pain is on the menu for you, long story short, you are going to come to grips sometimes with your attorney, and if you don't have one that you trust and is one who really actually is looking after your best interest, the road is going to be even tougher than it needs to be, and maybe impossible if you don't have a qualified person. And so, sorry, I got off on a tangent there, but so step two is confer, build a team. Step three is to preserve. So all of the different ways that you can preserve, if not improve, your physical health, mental health, this is the time to do it. Step four is to assess. So after doing all of these things, this seems to be the logical point in time to take a beat, stop, and figure out what's working, what needs to change, what's not working, and what do we do about it. Because no one's going to do it for you, right? There's not going to be any guide for this. There's no books that tell you what to do and when. And so, I don't know, this playbook that I've thought about over the years really simply boils down to four things that you can do. And I sort of think of this as a loop, because once you do the last one, then you go back to step one and you sort of repeat, right? Whether it be a couple months or a couple weeks or a year into the divorce, maybe what you actually wanted at the beginning is different now. So this is a good time to go back and just repeat the steps. So, like I said, this is the opener in a series that I'm going to do on the topic. I'm excited to bring in some subject matter experts to talk about their opinions on the subject. I myself have a primary motivation of doing this in that it's such a difficult thing, it's such a painful thing that it is very common and yet also very understandable for people to go through divorce and just come out in such bad shape at the end and on the other side. And I just wonder how much of that is self-inflicted and how much of it needs to be. And if only there was just some way of avoiding that, right? Whether it be my steps or somebody else's, just something. Anything here is better than nothing. And I think, quite honestly, that no real plan is probably the most common. And I'm talking about from a functional and emotional standpoint, because it's a business transaction. I think people go into this as something that needs to be buttoned up as a business transaction, and yet it's so emotional and so personal that I think looking at it from that lens gets neglected. And I think that's what my aim is here in the series. So stay tuned for more on this. But yeah, I'm happy to get started. And this is part one in the series about divorce. Thanks for watching.